This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. I'm Alex Brown. Agriculture producers across the country continue to worry about the prospects for income on their farms. That's according to the latest Purdue University CME Group Ag Economy Barometer. James Mintert, director of Purdue's Center for Commercial Agriculture, said the barometer hit its lowest level since March 2016.
That was the early stages of a pretty significant downturn in the U.S. farm economy. And so that tells me producers are pretty concerned about economic conditions on their farms and for the ag economy right now.
1/3 of respondents cited lower crop and livestock prices as their primary concern, while another third said higher input costs were top of mind for them. Evansville-based civil engineering, planning, and environmental firm Lockmuller Group is adding to its nationwide footprint with the acquisition of Multitech Engineering in Fort Worth, Texas. Financial terms of the deal are not being disclosed, but Lockmuller said all of Multitech's employees will be retained. Indiana rock star John Mellencamp is scheduled to attend the October 18th unveiling of a statue sculpted in his honor, Indiana University announced Tuesday. The statue, created by artist Michael McCauley, will be placed on IU's Bloomington campus near IU Auditorium. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the Engage Indiana series, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. With an unrelenting focus on growing Indiana's economy, we'll dive into each region's unique challenges and distinct opportunities for growth. 9 regions, 1 goal. Indiana's bold future starts here. Discover more and register at ibj.com/engage.
Just 1 month after ruling that a state agency no longer had to pay 2 mothers attendant care wages for the care of their medically frail sons, a federal judge reversed course Tuesday after the state failed to secure in-home skilled nursing services for the families. Here's Gary Dick.
The amended preliminary injunction is part of a lawsuit seeking to halt the Indiana Family and Social Services Administration's transition from attendant care provided by parents to structured family caregiving, which reimburses at a lower per diem rate rather than an hourly one. 2 Hoosier sons and their mothers sued, saying they wouldn't be able to secure the nurses needed to provide care while they worked outside of the home. The only income for both families was attendant caregiving because their sons' needs, which included seizure care, gastronomy tubes, and more, required too much of their time to work another job, and the state has a shortage of nurses. Regardless of the constraints and reported difficulty securing outside care, the agency transitioned an estimated 1,400 families away from attendant care in July, with the exception of the 2 families involved in the lawsuit. Judge Tanya Walton Pratt ruled last month that they, too, would transition and the state would have to take immediate and affirmative steps to secure nursing services. The ACLU of Indiana, representing the 2 mothers, did not rule out expanding the lawsuit to include other families in the future at an August hearing. The court hasn't yet set a date for a hearing on whether or not to permanently halt the transition away from attendant care. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio.
The Rachlin Murphy Museum of Art at the University of Notre Dame has received a significant gift of paintings, sculptures, and other artwork from the estate of Ernestine Morris Carmichael Rachlin, the first woman to serve on the university's board. The university said the gift includes work from iconic masters such as Gainsborough, Reynolds, Houdon, and Guillemot. A lifelong supporter of the arts, Rachlin began collecting in earnest in the 1980s and 90s. The collection includes works from the 15th through the early 20th centuries, but is especially strong in 18th century art. Racer and mechanical engineer Saber Cook is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.